Um, it's also fitting Mayor Lee's here with us today, and I think it's very appropriate to reflect when we're celebrating here on the immense responsibilities that he and his administration have. Mayor Lee, I know I speak for all of us in expressing our deep gratitude for everything you do and your administration does for taking on these dramatic responsibilities. It's mind-boggling the number of things that he has to anticipate and try to prevent, and not to mention the immense preparations that his administration has to constantly take should our community ever be faced with such a challenge. I'd like everybody here to please join me in thanking Mayor Lee and his entire administration for the unyielding responsibilities they bear with real grace, seriousness, and vigilance. So, I'm Eli Corey, I'm the Chief Investment Officer of Kilroy, and now it's my pleasure to welcome you all here for the official groundbreaking of 350 Mission. And it is appropriate that we look forward here and that we do celebrate this. The groundbreaking in one sense represents a celebration of some stunning new architecture, which I believe you can see in the pictures that are going to be added to San Francisco's already iconic skyline. But it's also a lot more than that. It's a celebration of San Francisco once again setting the standard for exceptionally livable urban environments. And I don't know if standing here today, it's probably hard to conceive that San Francisco is actually the densest urban environment here on the West Coast. One reason that it's hard to conceive how dense it is here is because San Francisco has been very far ahead of the curve in making great transit a central pillar of its larger vision. And we have more coming with the upcoming completion of the Transbay terminal right behind us and the central subway to follow. San Francisco is going to continue to lead the way forward, both on transportation and on sustainable urban environments. Without question, we're going to see these thoughtful and forward-looking transit projects continue to propel the economic progress of the city and its livability and vitality. And what we're seeing here at 350 Mission, that represents an important milestone in the fulfillment of that transit-centered vision. As most of you know, Kilroy has been the most active investor in San Francisco these days and in the Bay Area over the last few years. And we've done so because we believe in this city, and we've also done so because we have immense confidence in Mayor Lee. It's really no coincidence that under Mayor Lee and his administration that the city is seeing such a dramatic growth in technology, employment, and economic vibrancy. We've seen that through the expansion of companies that are already here. We've seen that through the incubation of new ones being born here. And most importantly, at this particular juncture, we are attracting companies from Silicon Valley and throughout the entire world. It's become a must-be location for companies wanting to compete globally. And so it's really been under Mayor Lee's watch that San Francisco, in my view, has seized the mantle from Silicon Valley as the high-tech innovation center of the world. So we at Kilroy, we fully agree with and we support the mayor's approach. He's clearly demonstrated incredible effectiveness in advancing San Francisco's leading position in the market. He has vigorously fostered a vibrant and sustainable economy. He has succeeded in instilling the very highest level of investor confidence. He's been instrumental in attracting world-leading innovative companies like Salesforce.com. And so he's clearly doing everything we could possibly hope for to ensure that the city remains the greatest place on the world to live and work. And here at Kilroy, we've also worked very hard to make 350 Mission an important and successful milestone in the city's progress. We've done that by trying to create a stimulating place to work, something that's an exciting visual addition to the landscape, and something that's leading edge in sustainability. We're honored that you have joined us here today to mark its beginning, and we're particularly happy that Mayor Ed Lee could join us today. He's been a fantastic supporter of the project and the principles that have inspired it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Mayor Ed Lee.
Thank you, Eli, and it's my pleasure to join John Kilroy and George Hu from Salesforce to present this opportunity for very shortly. I think it's early 2015 that we're going to see the actual address, 350. Some of us were trying hard. Where is that address when we were trying to locate this place? But we're going to be soon to see it. It's on a fast track for good reason. Salesforce is growing. It's an exciting company, but I have to thank, I know Eli mentioned it's our leadership, but I want to thank all the people that are involved, our Department of Building Inspection, our planning, everybody that's working with the city is finding that rhythm of what investor confidence means in this city. It doesn't mean just one decision. It means a series of attitudes about the future vision of this city. And we have two companies that are working together, Kilroy Realty and Salesforce, that share that exact sentiment about investing in our city for all the right reasons. Just 2 years ago, we ground broke the transit center, feeling at that time it was kind of a little bet that we would make, that perhaps this region, if not the state of California, was going to reinvest in our urban centers. We were taking a little risk at the time to suggest that the future workforces of our region would see that an urban life would be where they wanted to be. The culture, the arts, supported by fantastically designed buildings with some of the greatest architects in the world, and then supported by developers who had a vision that these places were going to be fun to be in, to live in, to visit, but also to work in every single day. And with the vision that John Kilroy has had with his incredible investment just in 3 years, it's sparkling over $2 billion of investment in our city. It's actually fun to be leading the city at this time because we have so many others who believe in the same vision. And now with Salesforce, who has not only been a great employer, but they represent the cutting edge of technology and cloud computing. And there's so much discussion about where this idea is going, but I know the future of technology is invested in the cloud. We all know that, and we all know that the greatest companies are there to support this. Well, in addition to being great employers and having great vision, I want to thank Kilroy and Salesforce for also being great contributors to our society. I mean, they go well beyond their business in making our city great. Both of them have contributed to the quality of life that we want to see happen here with the partnerships that we have. And so the real secret in investor confidence is not just doing a great process. It's also sharing the vision that we're participating in building a great society. And you should see more and more the philanthropic goals and programs that these two companies have joined together with the city on. This is what makes me happy not only to be here, because even though we're within a half a mile of 300,000 jobs being created all around and a half a mile from this center, we know this is going to be job creating, but we also know that the people who work here want a great city to be in. They want to continue contributing to the quality of life, to build the arts programs, to build the great events programs. And then where there's a gap, where there's people struggling, you have Mr. Benioff taking the helm with his wife and saying and suggesting to everybody else, we can also contribute to the great hospitals, the great social programs, to help me in public housing, to help me in education. This is what Kilroy and Benioff do in their everyday life of being great leaders in our city. So it's fun for all the right reasons. And when you look at this building go up, you see great architects like SOM and Flack & Kurtz in the engineering suggesting that they can build a 27 LEED platinum building in the center of our town and continue that as I go to other countries and visit, I can brag about not necessarily the 27 cranes that are up, because some of these other countries have more cranes than we do. but we can brag about the quality of the buildings that we're building, that they are the state of the art. They're going to be the greenest buildings here. And I want you to see that story, because that's going to continue our leadership in providing the greenest energy-saving buildings. LEED Platinum is the highest standard you can get. And to have everybody focused on that, I think the employees will find this to be a wonderful welcome. So I'm celebrating this not just for the jobs, not just for the economics, but for the quality of life that we all share and want to have in the city. This is what makes San Francisco great. So I'm here, not only supporting here, want to turn to Spade, but I'm excited, John, that we see another building in the great Kilroy fashion. We always joke, because I'm a big motion picture film, Kilroy was here, Kilroy is still here, and will continue to be here as they've always had been, and that they're designing and emphasizing the quality of life as we invite more people to work and live and stay in this wonderful city. So it is my pleasure to help turn the spade here, but to celebrate everybody's participation in signaling that our transit corridor is going to be the center of some wonderful, wonderful employment, but also wonderful buildings and wonderful tenants. And I can't thank Mr. Benioff and George Hu enough for their fantastic contribution to the city in every possible way. Great citizens all joining together, remarkable city. This is what makes investor confidence grow and continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Outstanding comments and all completely on target. We agree with all of that. And you spoke a lot about Salesforce, and we have a very important member of Salesforce with us here today. And first of all, as a company, as the mayor already referred to, it exemplifies the kind of firm that the city wants and needs. It's now the fastest growing large software company in the world. While it's based here in San Francisco, it's truly global with with offices in 26 countries, and it offers support in 20 different languages. It has received numerous well-deserved awards: Forbes' Most Innovative Company, Fortune 100 Best Companies to Work For, and as Mayor Lee also referred to with respect to his commitment to community, the company was named to CRM Magazine's Service Leader of the Year Award. And what that really means is since 1999, they've donated over $30 million in grants and 320,000 hours of community service. George himself has been with Salesforce for more than a decade. He's really one of the driving forces there. He's enormously talented. He's been recognized around the world for his insights into the future of computing. And he too has received many well-deserved awards. Impressively, at the age of 36, George was named a young global leader by the World Economic Forum. And as far as I know, he's the only one here who holds a patent. So please welcome George, come up and say a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome George Hu.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here today representing Salesforce.com. Today is a tremendous day for Salesforce and for the city of San Francisco. I want to start by thanking Mayor Lee and the city for so vigorously supporting local businesses and development, which allows companies like ours to stay and truly thrive in the city of San Francisco, which we are so thrilled to have as our global headquarters. I'd also like to thank John Kilroy and Kilroy Realty for their commitment to San Francisco and for really setting the standard for cutting-edge work and for environments in this new 350 Mission building. And I'd also like to thank the many Salesforce.com employees that are here today that made this possible, for their hard work and their dedication. You know, Salesforce.com started in 1999 by Mark Benioff in an apartment on Telegraph Hill, and with a simple vision to really transform the way companies are able to access software through the power of cloud computing. And today that simple vision is now grown into a $3 billion company, one of the fastest growing technology companies in the world. We're so thrilled to have now 10,000 employees around the world, with nearly 4,000 employees right here in San Francisco, making us the largest technology employer in the city. We are just thrilled about that. Today we have already more than 800,000 square feet in San Francisco. And we expect more than 1.8 million square feet by 2016. That is just tremendously exciting for us. And we're continuing to grow and hire the talent that this city brings and enables, people that want to join our mission, that are passionate about not only what we're doing in terms of our technology and our products, but also our broader mission, our philanthropy, the things we're doing to contribute to society and our community. That's why San Francisco is our global headquarters, because San Francisco stands for innovation, San Francisco stands for talent, passion, and the people that really make the technology industry go. We are passionate in our belief with partnering with the community, with the city, with the leadership, with other business partners that share our vision for the future. And also, as the mayor mentioned, we're extremely passionate about giving back to the community. Back when Mark started the company, right from the very beginning, we had a 1-1-1 model built in from the ground up. That was 1% of our time, employee time, given back to the community in volunteerism, 1% of our equity put in a 501c3 charity, and 1% of our product given back to the community in the form of free donations to nonprofits. And today we're so excited that we've already given more than $40 million in grants, including $10 million for District 10 right here in San Francisco, 445,000 volunteer hours. And today, as I travel around the world, I meet many of our 18,000 plus nonprofits that use Salesforce to manage their organizations. Now, this tremendous 350 Mission building will be a key addition to our dynamic downtown San Francisco campus. We couldn't be more excited about the building. 450,000 square feet in a brand new state-of-the-art office building. As Mayor Lee mentioned, it's the first new LEED Platinum tower built from the ground up right here in the city of San Francisco. It will feature a massive open-air lobby with a 3-story tall LED digital media canvas, the first of its kind in San Francisco. And of course, it sits right here in the heart of technology here in San Francisco, with tremendous proximity to BART and the new Transbay Transit Center right behind me. We're tremendously excited to be here and a part of this thriving, exciting area of the city. There's never been a more exciting time for technology companies in this city. As the mayor mentioned, we're really starting to see now the energy of innovation and technology move from Silicon Valley right here to San Francisco. Today, the city is full of startups. We're surrounded by startups. Thanks to Mayor Lee and his efforts, our industry is thriving. Our employees are thrilled to be here. I am personally thrilled to be here. I live in San Francisco and I'm raising my family here. I'm committed, and Salesforce is committed to this city. We're so glad to be here. Thank you to our partners. Thank you to the mayor, and thank you to the community. And thanks to everyone that's here today. Thank you very much.
Thanks, George. And now I have the pleasure to introduce John Kilroy, which I've actually done many times, and you would think I would have it down, but there are so many dynamic things to say about him that I think it changes every time. I've certainly worked with many outstanding real estate CEOs, and he is the best in my mind. First of all, John's an innovator, more so than any real estate person I've ever encountered. I truly believe if he wasn't in real estate, he'd probably be a tech entrepreneur himself. He's always looking ahead, he's extremely inquisitive, he's always anticipating and staying at the forefront of the emerging ideas that really shape the way we live and work in the real estate world. I'd say at the same time, he's a combination of a great theoretical thinker and being firmly grounded. He understands real estate, nuts and bolts, and development from the ground up, and everything in between really better than anyone in this industry. My view is that the best leaders lead by example, and John does that. He consistently shows, we're very fortunate at the company here because he consistently shows us and leads us in what it takes to succeed, through hard work, through discipline and commitment, through thoughtfulness, integrity. And John is as demanding of himself as he is anybody on the team, but he does make sure, and we enjoy it, that we're all committed, and particularly to delivering on every promise we make at Kilroy, to our own team, to our customers like Salesforce.com, and to the communities that we're in, especially communities like San Francisco. Now, I'm positive that 350 Mission couldn't have come together the way that it did without John, without his vision and energy, without his ability and his determination to move the project forward, and at the same time bringing everybody along with him. It is my pleasure to introduce him now. Please welcome John Kilroy, President and CEO of Kilroy Realty Corporation.
Well, I'm not going to say a lot about the building. I think that's been covered. And it's great to see everybody here this morning. Mr. Mayor, Eli, I think, said it well, but I want to say it again. It is an absolute joy to see you every week at a groundbreaking, whether it's for a building or a hospital or school. He told me recently we had breakfast and he said that he'd adopted the school system. I think that's, or the middle school system. I've never seen such a dynamic individual, and I've done business in a lot of cities, and one thing I want to ask the mayor is when he's termed out here, if he could go to a couple other cities in which we have some investments, because I think they need his leadership. And George, when I was, Eli showed me the little sort of bio on you and then made the comment that maybe I would have been a good tech person. I don't have that Stanford gene. Like you and Eli do, but I wish I'd been in the tech business if I could have created something like cloud computing. I want to tell you that when we did this deal with you folks, I was the keynote speaker at a big real estate event back in early December, late November, whatever it was, and one of the women in the audience stood up and said, well, what do you think of cloud computing, and would you do business with people in cloud computing? And I said, I don't know what cloud computing is, and I don't know anything about it, but it doesn't sound like it's the kind of company I really want to do business with. Why did I say that? Because we had a confidentiality agreement, remember? We weren't supposed to talk about it, and a lot of people were sending out rumors about this site. So, with regard to this building, it does encompass just about everything I love. Exciting design, and SOM just did a fantastic job on this building. Great location, great amenities, all the things that make for a wonderful investment. It couldn't happen at the speed at which it's happening without the support of the mayor. We thank you, Mr. Mayor, and your strong team down at the city. And of course, to have a transaction which I think was the lease between Kilroy and Salesforce, I believe, was something like 6 or 7 weeks after we bought the land. That's probably the fastest real estate deal of any magnitude that I've ever been involved in. And it could only happen because we had great teams of people. I know Ford Fish can't be here today. He's in Japan doing another major deal for Salesforce. He's their head of real estate, and I'm sure other titles as well. But what a gentleman. I'm sorry he can't be here. Please, we have a shovel for George, or rather for Ford, and I want to make sure that we get together when he gets back. I am going to say one thing about the building. I think when SOM looked at this property, they came up with an idea to really rethink the way buildings are being built in the world today, or should be built in the world today. I think somebody used the word vibrant, but this is going to be one of the most exciting lobbies. It actually has furniture that moves every hour 1 inch built into the floor. I'm not quite sure how all that works, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty exciting. And when we see the display, the large 45-foot by 70-foot display that George mentioned, that's going to be a great community amenity, because it's not only going to be able to put a few things out there about Salesforce, but it's going to have the lion's share of the time dedicated to public arts and community-related events. And so that's going to be something, as people come off the Transbay terminal, they're going to be able to see, they're going to immediately connect with things that are going on in the community, and I just can't wait to see it completed. So a few other thoughts with regard to I'm not going to spend any more time talking about San Francisco, because Eli, I think you covered it, and covered it well, but I do want to thank a few folks. First, I'd like to thank the design team at Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, Craig Hartman, the design partner, and his team of Steve Sobel, Michael Fukutomi, Eric Cole, and Michael Temple, to name just a few. Great job. We're very thrilled to be working with you folks. And our contractor, Webcore Builders, who has assured us that not only will this project be built on schedule, but under budget. And I'm delighted to hear that. Hope that's true. Jess Pedersen, President and CEO, I know he's out there, and Phil Williams, Vice President, and Colin Azevedo, the Superintendent here at 350 Mission. Thank you for all your help in making this a reality, or what will become a reality. There are two outstanding brokerage teams here in the city that one represented Salesforce, that's Cushman and Wakefield, and Dan Harvey and his team, and representing Kilroy was Chris Roeder and David Churton and Ted Davies from Jones Lang LaSalle. They both did a fantastic job keeping everything on track. Most importantly, I'd like to say a huge, huge thank you to George Hugh and his company, Salesforce.com, for believing in us and for the incredible speed with which this transaction went together.
Going to say about that? Okay, right here. Perfect. 1, 2, 3.